All right, there we go. Coming to you now.
All right, welcome to the Generation Gaming YouTube channel. I'm Jay Lewis at your service once again. Thank you for joining us. It's episode 2 of I guess, new and improved shorter version of the Generation Gaming podcast. Normally, I haven't done a whole lot on YouTube before, except for I'll upload like the bigger streams from the Twitch channel, which I'm live every day. Joined today. It's the first time I have somebody on the new version. No, Josh, Generation Gaming's video producer, is with me today. How's it going, man?
Going good. How are you?
Good, man. Thanks for having us. Coming on. So what we're going to do is it's just like the old version. News and headlines, upcoming game releases, and soapbox segment. It's going to be shorter and a little bit less, I guess, dumbed down. So got like 2 news and headline stories, a couple, let's see here. A couple of upcoming games I want to talk about, and then the soapbox segment to end it. Okay. All right. Starting off is something that I know that the both of us will have our completely different opinions on, and that's a good thing. That is the rumored Microsoft preparing a disc-free Xbox One, and in 2019. This is like my favorite console, personally. Something
only you.
Yeah,
only
no, it's not. It's a lot of people. Digital games are more popular than they ever been, because it's much easier than going to the store. Obviously, now granted, sometimes your prices will be, I think, cheaper with a hard copy, and I understand there's always going to be people who want like a physical copy, to hold and collect. I like collecting them. Don't get me wrong. I like doing that with like the hard copies, but I guess I just for me, I just find it easier. It would be a new Xbox One S, which won't obviously have a disc drive and only play digital video games. It's scheduled to release in 2019, but there's no month or date yet. Apparently, there's 2 factors. Apparently, Microsoft chose to axe the disc drive. The first one was to pivot to digital games, because, like I said, there's always going to be people that want a hard copy in their hands, or want a physical copy to collect or whatever. Because here we go with the connection issue again. Connection just went and reconnected itself again. I like with the collector of consoles. Are you gonna get this console?
A disc. Why would I get a discless one? If the internet goes out, I won't be able to play anything. It's already been a stretch for me to game share with you, so I'm not. Because every time I buy a game digitally, my heart is a little bit worse because I don't have anything to put on my wall. I've half contemplated going to GameStop, like, hey, do you have any game cases for this game that you don't need, just so I can put the shit on my wall.
Or you can just make your own. You'd be all right. I mean, I get it. That the one thing I kind of like, I agree with you on that. The one thing I really don't like is the times I have one hard copy title, and that's Fallout 4. So if my internet ever goes out, I literally can't play anything. And I don't understand why it's designed that way. Are you sure? Really? Hold on.
Generation Barks, brought to you by Max. How is he still alive? He's very old. Very, very old.
Yeah, he is. He's obnoxious as shit in his old age. Anyway, sorry about that. No, it's like I don't, it's kind of, I don't understand why it's designed that way, because, people download stuff all the time, obviously, iTunes or whatever, that service you want to download to keep things permanently. I don't understand why they can't do that with the Xbox, unless the Xbox hardware inside can't do that, but obviously you can save things. So I think that's just an Xbox or Microsoft decision. I don't like that. I don't understand why that's the thing, or why that's an issue, why that has to be that way. But the other reason,
well, yeah, there should be some sort. There's just sort of mechanism that if you bought the game and you just download it to your console, you should be able to play it regardless of the console being online or not. Like, I was playing Assassin's Creed and my internet went out and it kicked me out of the game. It's like, oh my God, I'm playing the game.
Yeah.
So obviously I own it. Why kick me out just because the internet went out?
Yeah, that's just kind of stupid. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't understand why it does that. It's just it just doesn't make any sense. I don't get it. Maybe it's a a cheap thing for them to do. They don't have to actually physically. It's almost, yeah. I'm trying to like describe why the reasoning was to do that, and I couldn't really find much like reasoning behind it. I'm sure there's some information out there I could find. I just wasn't able to find it for the podcast. But like the way it's developed, the way it's designed. But I mean, I like the idea. I'm not shocked that they're doing like a disc. They're going to do a disc-free one, even though they haven't. This is also a rumor, but like I have found a lot of stuff on it. The information I got was like from Forbes, some of it, and then every video game website out there has it. And it's also a Microsoft website actually has the information on it as well. But anyway, the other reason I guess was the obvious reason is that it would be much cheaper to produce. So they could sell this for like $200 or less, which I think the S is like $250. I think, or maybe it's $200. I don't know.
Well, I mean, that's a good entry point for, people who don't care about the disc, like people with young kids who don't want them to fuck up the disc anyways. Right. And if the internet goes out, you can just look at it and be like, hey, go do something else.
Yeah, that's true. No, that makes a lot of sense. Think about that. Well, that's the other thing. It's like they said, it says, but here's the other thing. It's kind of maybe not odd, but because like they're starting to make, I think the other thing is their profits are going up with digital purchases. Is Microsoft also they're scheduled to release a Xbox One S with a disk drive, and that's scheduled to release after the diskless model, which I don't understand. I don't know how that's going to be much different. Maybe space or whatever, or just another version. It's going to probably look the same. It'll just be a disk drive one, or obviously do both, but.
What they're setting people up is for frustration. It'll probably work fine when the internet works, but if you got crap internet, you're going to be ass out.
Yeah, so that's what I was thinking. I mean, luckily, my internet's fine. My internet's good, except today. Honestly, earlier today I couldn't do shit. I don't know what the hell was going on. It was weird. But all right, moving on to recently the Golden Joystick Awards, which I never heard of this, and I did research on it. They've been around for 34 years, since 1983, I guess, doing this. And it is a award show that fans vote on. So this is not journalists or writers and everything. So, which I kind of like that. So what I'm going to do is I've went along and I wrote down all the awards. Well, all of them except for like a one, I think, was a streaming award. I don't care about who won Best Streamer. All the best awards are the awards, and what the hell is that? Yeah, and who won them. And then Onos and I will just chime in on it as we go along, because some of these are going to be relative of us.
Chime!
Some of them we're not going to know who it is, but I still got some information. So this one isn't really a shock. The first two aren't going to be a shock, at least not to me, and I think probably Onos. Best storytelling went to God of War, which actually that was a really good story. I literally went on YouTube and I watched all the cutscenes because I have no PS4, but I was really engaged in the story. Actually, I thought they were really good.
Hey, we were supposed to get PS4s originally, so this is your fault.
No, it's not. Okay, maybe it is. But anyway, let me go ahead. You missed my PS4. It's not coming to mail forever. I'm still
I couldn't get it like I thought I would.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, no, I really enjoyed that. One of these days, I do want to get a PS4. I really do. I just majority, all my friends I know have an Xbox, but honestly, I want one mainly. It's going to sound ridiculous. It's for, even though it's now it's only 7 days instead of 30, but I want Call of Duty Zombies. Just to get the stuff initial, because this year, because the contract's different in Call of Duty, all of the stuff that comes out on the PS4, I mean, everything except for maybe an update. All the free stuff, like Newtown just came out today for Xbox. It came out last week for PS4. So all that little stuff comes out 7 days early. But which I guess is better.
Well, at least it's not 30 days anymore.
That's true, yeah. That was ridiculous. It's stupid in general, but I don't know how they don't they got to lose money on doing that. I just don't get that business plan, but whatever. All right. Studio of the Year. There you go. Sony Santa Monica. Same people who made God of War, so that kind of goes hand in hand.
Rightfully so.
Right. Let's see. Are they doing DLCs for God of War?
No, they're not. They decided not to do DLC because they want to go, since they have the new engine now, they want to go straight to the next game, so we don't have to wait as long, because this is basically only a part of the story.
Right.
So hopefully at E3 next year, we'll probably not, but maybe hopefully it's not more than 2 or 3 years we have to wait for the next one, because the game was very good, but it wasn't such a big game that it took super long like Red Dead and Assassin's Creed to beat. So it was kind of like,
right,
okay, it's like I need more of this, but how long is more of this going to take?
Yeah, it's like the game almost felt like when I was watching. I mean, cutscenes obviously is different, but it almost is it like a linear open world, if that makes any sense. That's kind of what I was getting the vibe when I was watching some of the stuff. But is that kind of like what it is?
It's the beginning is pretty linear, and then it opens up into linear. So the open world aspect of it, think of like Spyro and Crash Bandicoot. You can jump into different worlds and do that level. Huh. It's like that with a little bit of open world stuff around it because you can go on like little islands and stuff.
Yeah.
But okay. Everything you go to kind of has a clear path. Like if you go to a section, you kind of can figure out which way you're supposed to go because it's kind of a path or only way you can do this kind of thing.
Okay. Mobile game of the year was PUBG.
So it's more.
What? Go ahead.
I was just saying it's open world, but not open like open like it's not sandbox like Grand Theft.
I didn't think so.
Like that.
Yeah, I didn't think that was the case. I just looked a little bit like that. Which is kind of nice to change the pace. Mobile game of the year, PUBG. I see. Okay, I'm not a big fan of mobile games unless my Xbox is like not working, which is rare. Knock on wood. Or I just didn't. I don't. I'm just not a big mobile gamer. I get the point of it. It's a good moneymaker, I'm sure. I had lost all respect for mobile games when Command & Conquer was released and EA announced it as a mobile game. I was so mad. I was like, are you shitting me? I was like, really? One of my all-time favorite games. The only game I ever played on PC, and you had to make it into a mobile game. Yeah, don't think so. I'm no way. Best competitive game.
You need to get better at it.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But it could be. But because it's not Command & Conquer is not great on console. I thought I was going to like it when they did that, and I just couldn't. I guess maybe I'm used, the mouse and the double clicking is I don't know. It felt weird. But anyway, best competitive games, Fortnite. I guess I kind of can see that, like multiplayer wise. I figured maybe like Rainbow Six Siege or something, even Call of Duty with its issues. But competitive, I guess, because it's so popular. But we'll get more into that with the last one, with the Game of the Year award.
I guess it's popular because of kids, but
yeah, the kids take their mom's credit card and they go buy all those damn cosmetic stuff. But anyway, PC Game of the Year was Subnautica. It's supposed to be an open world survival game exploring an open world ocean on an alien planet, collecting unique resources to survive. It seems kind of cool. I mean, I'd like to eventually get a PC where I can game on it because there's a lot to do, especially for zombies. There's so many like cool modified maps that people make that seem fun to play. Here's a no-brainer. Obviously, it's another one. PlayStation Game of the Year, God of War. By the way, God of War won 4 awards out of all of them. But yeah.
Good.
Xbox, this one I kind of thought about it, but I guess it makes sense because you think about exclusives here. Xbox One, or Xbox, I guess, whatever. Game of the Year was Forza Horizon 4. I have that on my console. I haven't even touched it yet because it was part of the Game Pass. If it was free with the game, if it gets free in a sense that you could play it for a month, I guess, for $10. But actually, the Game Pass is $1 right now, which is a really good deal. Because there's a lot of good games on that pass, actually. I've never been a racing fan though, but see, that's the thing is like exclusives. I feel like as many exclusives as they put up on E3 and like how many there are 30 or whatever crap they say it is. It's not really as big. Exclusives are I feel like a rare commodity nowadays, but
yeah, they are. But PlayStation obviously has the better exclusives.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I agree with that completely. Yeah, I love some of the exclusives that I've seen for PlayStation. That's made me want to get a PlayStation. I'm about to say Xbox. Okay, so this one is, you might know this game. I had to look it up because I'd never heard of it. Nintendo's Game of the Year was called Octopath Traveler. It's a
really?
Sorry?
I said really? I didn't expect that.
Yeah, that's what this is all based by fans voting on this. Yeah, I guess, do you know what that is? I had to look it up. It's turn-based RPG, I guess. Maybe about 30 minutes.
I've seen it, but other than like core Nintendo games, I'll never really download anything. I'm
Right.
not with Nintendo. I'm really skeptical on the third party stuff. But if it got Game of the Year, I might download it and try to see what it's about.
Right. Yeah, because it says it's like a see here. It sold apparently 1 million copies in its first month. Apparently, so that's like one of the best-selling games on the platform, from what I found out. It's known as a HD 2D graphical aesthetic. I guess combining like Super NES style, I guess, bit of graphics. And I kind of looked at some of the images, and I guess I could see that. But I don't know. I was never a big fan on turn-based. The only turn-based game I think the last time I played was Final Fantasy X. And that was as far as I ever went. But let's see. All right.
I mean, but Final Fantasies are great. They're all
yeah, that's different. I know. I mean, I know this is also made by Square Enix, but obviously that's different.
The Octopath game is?
Yes, it says it's made by Square Enix. Yeah.
Oh, maybe then I do need to check it out.
It should be pretty good then, or not bad at least. Yeah, I don't really see Square making. I haven't remember the last time I made bad games, to be honest. But
I was just contemplating Pokemon, but someone told me it's more like Pokemon Go than it is like the original one. But
I kind of like Pokemon Go, to be honest with you. I was doing it for a while. I'm not gonna lie, but I kind of got bored. Let's see. All right, moving on. Best co-op game, and this one is for you, especially because I didn't touch it. I really want to get back into it, but I've been so sucked on Red Dead 2 at the moment. Best co-op game was Monster Hunter World. Did you play any of the co-op at all, like for any amount of time, or you just did single player the whole time?
No, I played co-op.
How was it though? I mean, it seemed all right. I mean, I played it for a few minutes.
Co-op made the game really fucking ridiculously hard,
really?
and the game's already hard.
Right.
But co-op it allowed for you to join with a team with like abilities that you couldn't have on your character.
Oh.
So like someone could stand back and use an arrow and heal
right.
while the heavy hitters go in and tackle these, monsters. Huh. But the game has a serious learning curve. Like you literally have to buckle down and want to play this game.
That's what I was kind of feeling, to be honest with you. When I played it on when I played it for like the few hours that I played it, with Blue Psychosis, the controls were they were weird. Like I wasn't like grasping. I was like, dude, I'm not this stupid. Like, but I finally got it. But it was like it was just really odd at first, I guess. But so I could see kind of what you meant by that. Okay, let's see. All right, so hold on a second here. Let's see. Best visual design, God of War. That's an obvious one. That's a no-brainer there. That game that looks so good. When I first saw it, I was like, wow, like, visually that's just amazing. Best indie game. It's called Dead Cells. So Dead Cells was described as a roguevania. Apparently it's a combination of procedurally generated roguelike games plus and action exploration based Metroidvania games, which is a subgenre of the action adventure genre of video games. Like it's kind of like Metroid and like Castlevania-ish. I looked at it. If you like Castlevania, you might like it. That's kind of like it. That's an indie game. Best breakthrough award was Unknown World Studios. That's Subnautica. Most wanted. This is weird. How do you give an award to a game that's not out? You literally have a category for most wanted game. I don't understand.
Probably because they didn't have anything good to give the award to, so they was just like, all right, here.
Yeah. I mean, all these categories are voted on, of course, like I said. So most wanted game was Cyberpunk 2077. I saw some gameplay. I don't know have you seen gameplay of this yet? It kind of looks pretty interesting.
Yeah, I saw it and I looked into it after. Now, I guess maybe it didn't intrigue me enough for me to divulge, too deep into it.
Right.
But I guess if you buy it, I'll play it.
Yeah, I might. Yeah, I like open world games a lot. I'm a big open world guy. This one I was happy at least they won one of them anyway, which I feel like they should have got more. But Critics' Choice Award was Red Dead 2. I honestly have not. I've never played a game that like Red Dead is. I mean, it's so immersive. I can see why this game took 8 years to make. The amount of detail and content in this game is so overwhelming sometimes. I will get. The only time I ever get annoyed with this game is sometimes the controls can be a little weird. Your horse running into shit sometimes when you shouldn't be and falling off, and is kind of be annoying. But the positives are so outweigh the negatives, which are so far and few between. They're very small. But I think you actually will like this when you actually play it. Now you beat Assassin's Creed, you can go play it. Let's see. I think you'll like it. Best audio is God of War. Still Playing Award. I love that they called it that. Still Playing Award. World of Tanks. World of Tanks is kind of fun. It's a free game too, actually. So I like that. I was playing it for a little while. All right, and let's go to the end here. There's only a couple more. I'm gonna go to the end here real quick. You hear me okay, man?
Yeah, right? I got you.
Okay, sorry. All right, and the game of the year was Fortnite. Now, this one kind of bugged me because I'm like, wait a minute, didn't this come out in 2017? Well, apparently, they counted it because, and here's the reason it was a contender, was because the early game release, came out in 2017, but the final product was officially launched in 2018. I don't like that. I don't agree with that.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that's kind of bullshit. Yeah, I know, right? That's what I said.
Sounds like someone was paid.
Yeah, apparently
someone was paid.
It's kind of bullshit. It came under fire from fans deservedly so, especially when you had games like Red Dead 2, that was supposed to take the crown of Game of the Year but didn't. Plus games like God of War and SpiderMan. How the hell can you? I know Fortnite's popular. I understand. I'm not ignorant of that fact. I don't play Fortnite except I played Save the World. That was fun. The BR is what the heart of it is, and I know a lot of kids love it because it's colorful and cartoony and just whatever, but it appeals to kids very heavily. But you have games like God of War and Red Dead 2. I haven't played Spider-Man 2, but I don't need to know that game's great from everything I've heard from people close to me like you, and I heard like Farside, Adam Austin, he was saying it too, and a couple other friends. Spider-Man seems like it's pretty good. Although I heard it was shorter than expected. Anyway, all right. So that's it. Moving on.
Well, Spider-Man was good.
Yeah, no, it was good. I just heard it was like shorter than I guess you would expect, or like you beat it kind of quick, and if you did everything, I don't know.
Yeah, the DLC just came out, and it was really lackluster. It doesn't need to be a DLC.
Huh. All right, so we have some. Moving on to upcoming game releases. I have 6 upcoming game releases. I kind of just figured for the show purposes of this being a shorter show, I'm going to point out the bigger ones, the more important ones. So we're going to run down them like we just did with that list. Both of us are going to comment on it. Darksiders 3 is going to come out November 27th, PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Did you ever play Darksiders or any of them at all?
No, I didn't either. I don't like games that make me rage quit that much.
What is it like? Is it that bad or like that hard? I never played any of them, so I don't know. I know what it is, but I never played much of them.
Yeah, it's one of those games that it's extremely hard.
Oh, okay. So
but
like
pride themselves on being able to beat it.
Right. So it's like, what's that game that's so? Oh God, it's this medieval game, Dark Souls. That's what I guess maybe it might be reminding me of. Okay. Just Cause 4 come out PS4, Xbox One, and PC. That comes out December 4th. I played every Just Cause. I never beat any of them. I mean, they were fun. I mean, they're big on explosions and, really high octane action, this open world game. And I'm a big open world RPG guy, but I don't know. I get bored of them after a while. I'm like, I can only blow so much stuff up without it being, I can't even say it, but boring after a while. But they're not bad games. But I don't know. Did you ever play any of them? I don't think you did.
No.
Yeah, I don't think so. All right, this one's from Nintendo Switch. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate comes out December 7th. I have never played Super Smash Bros. But one time. Are you fucking
serious?
I'm not joking. I've only played Super Smash Bros. One time in my entire life. I'm not joking when I say that. I'm probably going to get scolded for that.
Wow. You know what? If I could fire you right now, I'd fire you. Who are you?
Yeah, I know, right? That's not good.
Where's Billy? Bring him back.
I mean, it was kind of. I feel like it's a huge button mashing game, but I guess if you're like really good, I'm sure there's. Really?
No. There's a lot of skill involved. If you watch like the competitions, man, it's very well thought out. You have to know what you're doing to win.
Okay.
Like, it's not busting match. You got to know how to make sure you don't get knocked off ever. You got to know what to do if you get knocked off at too high a percentage. You got to. There's some thought you got to put into it.
Okay. All right. All right. Moving on. I think you played this next game, and I know a friend of mine did. I thought it was you and a couple other people I knew. Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition comes out Xbox One, PS4, PC, January 11th. Did you ever play that? I thought you did.
Maybe I played most of the Tales games.
Right.
I don't know if I played Tales of Vesperia though. The last one I played was it was a double one, Tales of something like X. There's so many of them, but they're all pretty like basic level RPGs,
right?
Like JRPGs.
Okay.
But they're good. Some are better than others, and they do put out animes for some of them.
I thought so. Yeah.
Xperia. I played Tales of Xperia.
Okay. Huh.
That was the last one I did. There's Tales of Symphonia. That's good. Most of the Tales, like I said, most of the Tales games are pretty good. Matter of fact, I kind of have to finish the one I bought not too long ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. Resident Evil, the remake, PC, Xbox One, and PS4 that comes out January 25th. This is the original Resident Evil where the camera was wonky as fuck, and you would go into a corner and you couldn't see yourself and getting eaten by zombies. I used to hate that about the original Resident Evils. The camera's been changed now, so it's a third-person view, kind of like the more recent Resident Evils. Not the Resident Evil 7, which is first-person the entire time, which I really like Resident Evil 7. Onos also will never play Resident Evil 7 because he would probably poo himself. But yeah, no, I don't know if I'd get it.
I watch people play Resident Evil and scary stuff on YouTube and then have nightmares because I'm a big baby.
Yeah, man, talk about scary. Red Dead 2 has a couple of creepy. Actually, they got a bunch of creepy stuff. Actually, if you go to the ambience in the game is really good. I mean, at nighttime, not every night, there's a weather system in the game. There's fog sometimes. And there's an area of the map where there's a big swamp. And if you go there past like 4 a.m., you will sometimes run into these people called night folks. And I'm not going to lie, it kind of freaked me out because I was riding on the road and I heard this like high, like yelling, chirping sound. And it freaked me out. So, of course, as a white person, I had to stop and investigate. So I had to make sure. I was like, what's that noise?
That's why y'all
What'd you say?
I said, that's why you'll die first.
Like, what is that noise? But it's like this group of like zombified people. I don't know if they're alive or dead. They look alive because the way they're moving, but they look like zombies. It's weird. I can't explain it. But next time I run into one, I'm gonna kill them and take a picture of it and I'll show you what I'm talking about. But they, yeah, that was really creepy. Yeah, I know, right? And the last one, of course, which is gonna be, I know Ono Sans will like this a lot, is Kingdom Hearts 3, PS4, Xbox One on January 29th.
Yes.
That's the last game I've got on the list. Yeah, that should be really. You know, I know you're getting it for PlayStation, but I mean, I kind of want to go back and like play one of these one time because I never got into it. But then again, I don't think I ever gave it a fair shot.
You're going to be confused as fuck.
Oh, probably will because the story seems really convoluted.
Okay, but they're putting out a game right now called was meant to catch people up before the January release.
What is it called?
Basically, I mean, if you don't, Kingdom Hearts, the story so far.
Oh, okay.
It's all the games. It's all the games on one disc. I think it's $49.99 or $50. I don't know if they can charge full price. It's like the third time they've released the old games to catch people up.
It's like that. They released a bunch of those. Okay.
But honestly, if you wanna know the story, but you don't want to play them, you can just YouTube it. Somebody's summarized it.
Right.
But if you want to have the experience, play them. They're very good games.
Okay.
The development cycle for them is horrid though. Like forever. But
I feel like it's worse than GTA and Red Dead 2.
You know what the worst thing about Kingdom Hearts is though? Kingdom Hearts 3 is just the end of Sora's saga. So that means there's a lot more story they potentially want to tell that has to do with the Kingdom Hearts universe. It's just supposed to be the end of Sora's saga. And I guess
the main character?
Happen is we're going to wait. Yeah, the main character. And what's going to happen is we're going to wait another 12 years for them to release another Kingdom Hearts.
Wow, that's ridiculous.
We're going to be 80 years old by the time we finish Kingdom Hearts story.
That's crazy, man. See, that's the other thing. Like, games, and I'll go into here in a minute. Actually, let's move on to the final segment of the podcast. That's the Generation Soapbox segment. And then talking about what we're going to do today is unfinished games. And I talked about Treyarch and Black Ops 4 last week in the start of the podcast. And this, I'm going to talk about them again, but more in depth. I feel like it's happening more and more. And I don't know how it was when you played when I played Assassin's Creed. I didn't get this vibe really. It felt finished to me. I don't know about SpiderMan, but I feel like games, at least in my experience,
no, Assassin's Creed's not finished.
Oh, really? I haven't played it like super a lot. So
no, there's some parts in the game that just freeze for no reason. You got to restart the whole thing.
Okay, no, you're right. You're right. That did happen to me. Okay, I remember that. Yeah, I remember like I was going up a hill riding a horse, and all of a sudden it was like, no, my paused. The horse and my character literally froze, and I could move the camera around, and then it decided, okay, we're going to ride again, and it started moving again. It was weird as shit. But I am going to when I beat Red Dead 2, I'm going to get back on there, and I'll do it, because I'm doing, that's one of the things I've been doing lately with single-player games like this, is I was doing episodic streams, and I put them on from Twitch to YouTube. So right now we're on episode 12 of Red Dead 2, the Red Dead 2 series. I'm going to do episode 13 tomorrow. Anyway, so what from my own experience lately is from Black Ops 4 and Fallout 76. I'll start out with the past 2 months. Like I said, games I feel like are being released unfinished with, and has gotten worse. And is my, view is it's the worst I've ever seen it. I felt like this, for years, and a lot of us have. Case in point, like I said, Call of Duty this is the worst Call of Duty release ever. In history of the Call of Duty franchise, I've never played a Call of Duty that has more problems than this one does. I know you haven't played it enough to see when it had it. I know they had a big update last week that fixed a lot of it.
But I knew it would happen, so I predicted it. So I was like, no, I'm not going to play this. Because
when you
it's going to be funny.
see, I don't know about you. Like when you played it a few times, did you have any issues like with like any cosmetic, like adding attachments or camos or anything like that when you played it? Do you remember anything like that or anything?
For the fact I couldn't play as the Shadow, Shadow Man, in Steel Camp because of whatever, that's just glitching up. That simple thing.
Yeah.
Like,
it took me about almost 2 weeks to get that to work, like to actually let me play it. I mean, it's fine now, but I always wonder about that. How are your updates set up on your Xbox? Are they automatic, or do you let them? Do you do them yourselves? Because I do it myself. I don't let them automatically update.
Yeah. No, they're automatic because every time you fucking die or download something, I wake up with something on my console.
You got the big hard drive. You be okay. Don't worry about it. It's fine. I'm doing you a favor.
So I'm like, what the fuck game is this? Why is John downloading this?
Because I want to know, like, you might have an update. Like today, there was a 10.5 gigabyte update for Black Ops 4. That's because Nuketown came out today, and they did they did more bug fixes and some stabilization. Well, the reason I'm saying is like Black Ops 4. I mean, the game is. I mean, there's a lot of good things about the game in each mode, but the first, and it did like 500 million, I think, but apparently that wasn't good enough for the shareholders. So pretty much what I feel like that means is Call of Duty's hit its peak. It's not going to get any higher than this. The fact the game was even released in the way it was a joke. I mean, I don't understand, like, who thought that we're going to need to release all these games. Of course, somebody's home. Hold on a second. Let me open this real quick so we can end this. Okay. Please. Hey, stop.
Welcome back to Generation Gaming Interludes.
Yeah, really. So I just feel like, I mean, PS4 blue screen crashes. So that means for us, Xbox One, I would get like, before that big update came out, I would get just dashboarded. The game would just stop completely and go back, and I would have to relaunch the game. It didn't say like resume or anything like that. It would just say, I had to restart it. No particular reason. Some things like you can't do, if you try to like high round right now, if you can't get past round 80, I think people that you can get to 150, but if you get to 151 at the moment, the game will just stop and crash. Every time you get to 151, the game will just stop and crash, which is ridiculous. Cosmetic issues like camo's not working, guns only allow, like I put camos on and the camo's not in the game, but it's inside the lobby or menu. The gun's only allowing you to put like half the total attachments on it. So a gun will give you 6 attachments, and it would only give me 3, or say I already have 3 attachments already on it, but I obviously don't. Yeah, it's really stupid. What are you going to say?
No, I was saying, wow. I mean, I haven't played enough to have the attachment issue because I can't get any attachments yet. I'm like at level 1 or something. That's
it's all right, man. I did beat.
But like I told.
Go ahead.
Well, I was saying I was trying to because of my time limitations with video games, I'm trying to beat one game at a time.
Right.
So I did beat Assassin's Creed. I told you. So tonight, if I get a moment, I'm probably gonna play Red Dead for about an hour or so before I pass out because I'm old.
Yeah. No, it's a good story. Red Dead's really good. I think you'll like that a lot. As far as the story is concerned, it's pretty good. I've never played a game where the player you're playing as gets a life-threatening disease, tuberculosis, and you have to make his medicine. That kind of, I was like, wow, well, all right. But
I'm not a doctor, so he's gonna die.
Yeah, you actually can go see doctors. It's kind of interesting. There's doctors in these towns you can see. The other thing was, put like frame rate was dropping in Blackout. That hasn't happened in a while though. So like I'd be running along and the screen would like kind of glitch itself, and I'd be like in one place, and now I'd be like 10 feet in front of myself. You experienced that, I think, when you played it with me a little bit, I think. Let's see. Multiplayer. Multiplayer is running at 20 hertz. 20 hertz. That's so small considering for just a giant game like this. World War II is running at 60. That something's wrong about that. That just doesn't make any sense. Well, apparently it's running at 30. But the thing is, the odd thing is the client send rate is able to reach 60 hertz, but the servers are most likely locked at 20 for some reason right now. So it's like, don't get excited about the 30 hertz upgrade because mainly it's just been spiked to 30 hertz every now and again. But anyway, and then the other thing is like Fallout 76. That's another game itself that I can obviously tell that the game's not finished. I go along, like I'm playing, it'll like does the same thing like a frame rate issue. I'm walking along and I'll be glitching to the left.
Yeah, I see a lot of bad things for that.
Yeah, it's really disappointing. As a Fallout fanboy, I'm really disappointed in this game because the MMO, they've been talking about doing a Fallout MMO for years now, and now they've done it. It feels like it's not finished. I mean, especially like
maybe buy it.
Yeah. Especially like when an explosion happens, the screen goes completely just haywire, and it's like, but it's like, I guess the issue is you can complain about it all day and say all these things like, what's wrong with it? But then if there's no solution for it, then all we're doing is bitching and moaning, and we don't have anything for it. I understand, though, at the end of the day, this is a business. And as a business, it costs money to make games, especially these giant AAA games, which are up to the neighborhood of $100 million to $150 million. But I wonder, though, and I'm trying to think, what could you do to make these companies not have this issue? And I know they have these deadlines, but sometimes I feel like maybe the deadlines are not realistic. I mean, company like Rockstar, who worked 8 years on Red Dead 2, and you could tell it's been worked on for. I mean, I have the amount of issues I have, in that game with glitches and bugs are so rare. I mean, it's extremely rare. I haven't had hardly anything. It felt so nice to play a game that I wasn't like freezing in something, or I wasn't like running. You remember the time like the old days where video games? I feel like video games didn't do this. I don't know why, but I just feel like it's like so much more of a problem nowadays than ever.
Well, no, we just didn't care as much. We
Probably
were
not.
cynical of games back then.
Yeah.
Because the limitations are so lower. But since it's increased, we expect a lot more from the games. And as far as quality assurance, companies are rushing stuff out because they want to win awards and make money because they're putting out all this money to this huge staff to make this huge game, but they're not making any money. Being probably investors, or they're making money off the side projects and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Games are just coming out. But the AAA games, the ones that are taking 8 years to finish, we get those so few and far between now because there's such a high standard.
Yeah.
Honestly, we'd probably get a lot of better games that aren't as long, that would fulfill voids quicker if if society, like the game society, would take our high standards down a little bit and make shorter games of like a Red Dead game that maybe only lasts 20 hours, but we get one every few years instead of waiting 8 years for a Grand Theft Auto.
I don't, yeah, I know 8 years just feels like a long time, and the same thing you say about, like, Kingdom Hearts, but I feel like, though, the games are actually finished, or there's hardly any issue. You're going to have some issues. That's always the case in gaming. But when you take the time to make the games, I always feel like the product is always better when you take the time. The longer, the better. Normally, in that case, I've never really heard of an instance that it's not. But I don't know. But anyway, I don't know. I feel like that might be. I don't think they would do that. But Rockstar, because they're such a successful company, I think that's kind of their trademark thing. But 8 years is a long time. I know we're not going to be getting like GTA, I think, for another couple of years from what Rockstar says. But it is what it is. I mean, it came out 5 years ago, so it's probably going to be the same amount of time. Like 8 years is probably the amount of time we're going to get for GTA 6.
Well, Rockstar said they haven't even started on the next GTA because of the political climate now.
Yeah,
and they make fun of everything. They're so scared to do it because they don't want people, all the people who are oversensitive.
Yeah,
like boycotting their game all of a sudden, even though it was okay years ago. Now all of a sudden, if you make fun of anything, someone's super butthurt.
Yeah, so that got on me. I really didn't understand. People are so offended about things. A game like the game. I mean, you should know, even if you don't play video games, the game's called Grand Theft Auto. So that's a key indicator, and the game's mature, that maybe this isn't for little Billy. So you need to tone it down or just back up. But you'll notice when you play Red Dead, it's not it's almost like you don't get that at all. The story, it's not that. Yes, there's some offensive stuff in there. The race is a big thing in the game. I mean, there's people that they're still. This is the game set in 1899, but there's people that are still trying to sell slaves in the game. You have to help them, or you can let them get sold if you're you want to be bad, because there's a lot of choices. But the history is really in depth in the game. But
I mean, you can't erase history. I mean, I'd rather than be more historically accurate.
Yes.
Than but like Assassin's Creed, I mean, they got slave sales all over the damn place.
Yeah.
But back then, they were selling each other.
Yeah, it's pretty normal. Unfortunately, it's horrible, but yeah, that was pretty normal.
But you got to be able to separate yourself from it. It's a game. It's not,
That's what I'm feeling. I'm the same way. Yeah, it's gonna all these people get so offended, but I kind of for a company like Rockstar to actually feel that way is kind of surprising, because for all these 5 GTAs they made before it, they didn't care at all. They didn't, they weren't worried about anybody's thing. I mean, look at how much money they make. They always make pot. They never. They've always broken even. They always make a huge killing on GTA games. I think they made they broke the record with Red Dead 2. I think it was like 85 million or something like that in the first 3 days, which is crazy. And they broke even or whatever. But anyway, all right, well, that's gonna do it for episode 2 of the Generation Gaming Podcast. Going to be back next Monday night, same time, same place, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sorry, last night it was not going to work, but anyway. Frodo Sauce, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate it. Still there?
Thanks for having me.
Oh, there, man. So maybe we'll get Ono Sauce back next week. If not, I'm sure he'll join another time. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Generation Gaming YouTube channel, Generation Gaming. We'll catch you guys on the other side.
On the other side.
Hold on, man. All right, man. Thanks for doing it, man. That's good, man. Appreciate it.